Cage Minds, Mike Frankel, with Leonid Grachev. Try my best to say that name. How'd I do, sir?
Not bad. Leonid Grachev, but I just go by Leo, makes it a little simpler.
All right, so what's been the furthest off pronunciation that you can remember that cracked you up the hardest?
Well, I was at a national tournament once. I think this was in Salt Lake City. I don't know if I think they just glanced at my name and said Leon Garcia. So I was Leon Garcia that fight.
Garcia.
Leon
All
Garcia.
right, cool. We caught up with Leo here at Sanchez Brothers Boxing. You're an amateur boxer currently, sir. So let's get some background. Talk to me about boxing, about your beginning, your start.
Okay, so my first introduction to combat sports, I started when I was 18 years old. I've been playing sports my whole life, teams, competitions, everything. When I came to America, I played everything you could think of: basketball, swimming, soccer, wrestling, track and field, and I started football in 8th grade. I played all through high school, got a scholarship to play at the Colorado School of Mines. Played there for a year, and then I wanted to try an individual sport. So me and two of my friends, we bought 2 pairs of MMA gloves, and we seen some MMA on YouTube, and we started beating the crap out of each other, and that's how we started. The summer after my freshman year, I went to an MMA gym. I had my first fight about 3-4 weeks in. Got into kickboxing after that. Had a very bad back injury when I was 21 years old. When it got better, I got back in the gym. I didn't have any plans to compete, and I just wanted to hit the bag, get back to it a little bit, and I didn't want to kick or wrestle. I was scared I'd injure myself again, so I started boxing, and then I wanted to fight again. And it just took off from there. So my first fight I had when I was 19, but I didn't have my first boxing match till I was 23.
And now, you were born in Russia. You came over here to Colorado. You've been here how long?
So I was 8 years old when I moved here. This was 1998. We moved to Arizona. We were there about 6 months. Moved to Colorado. Did all my school out there. Got my degree in petroleum engineering. Went to go work. Spent a little time in Texas. About 4 months in Oklahoma. I was supposed to work up in Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, the very north slope of Alaska. But a week before I went, my company I was working for, Schlumberger, we lost the BP contract up there. So they said, you can either go to Williston, North Dakota, Midland, Texas, or Roswell, New Mexico. So I said, I'll try Roswell. So I was in Roswell for about 2 years. Spent some time in Albuquerque as well. Moved back to Colorado, moved to California, and now I'm back in Albuquerque.
And you always had the bug, though, to want to compete?
Absolutely, ever since I was a little kid. Competition's always terrified me, but I loved it. I always loved it.
And now, amateur boxing. Talk to me about how this endeavor's been.
Oh, it's been great. When I was, like I said, I hurt my back when I was 21, and I was in Oklahoma at the time in 2012, and I was watching the Olympics on TV. I was watching boxing. I was like, man, I could beat those guys. And but I was still hurt, and eventually everything got better. And when I went to work, I had health insurance. Everything got set back in place, and I started competing, and it just kind of took off. I won my first Golden Gloves in 2014, and just jumped on the national circuit very, very early on in my career, and I've got about 55 fights now and never looked back.
I believe you look at the USA Boxing rankings and super heavyweights, you're there at number 4 currently.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean to you?
So it's great to see my name up there. Obviously, I'm shooting to be number 1. It's been a long time coming, and there's a lot of tough guys, tough competition in the United States, big country, lots of boxers. So it's great to see my name up there, but I'm not done yet, and I believe I have a long professional career ahead of me as well with big aspirations. So I come to get it, man.
Right now, though, the immediate goal, the immediate thing that has your attention is the Olympics, right? That gold medal kind of has it. That was the first thing you said. You already mentioned it. It's kind of had your attention, right?
Absolutely. So when I first started boxing, I had my first match, October 2013. I wanted to make the 2016 Olympic team, but I didn't make it, and then kept competing. I was gonna turn pro last year when I was out in California, but I ended up making a move out here, so that didn't happen for me. And I just decided to, keep fighting until everything falls into place. And I've made some good connections, got some good coaches, getting good work, good sparring. So that's coming soon. But as of right now, my eyes set on the Olympics.
Talk to me about determination and just the work that it's put into to get to that level, to feel that you're at that caliber.
Absolutely, it's when I first started hitting all these big tournaments, I felt a little out of place. A lot of those guys have already had 30, 40, 50, 100 fights, and I think I had 11 fights when I went to my first national tournament. That was the U.S. Nationals in 2014, December 2014 in Spokane, Washington, I believe. And I saw all these guys. Oh yeah, this guy medaled at Worlds. This guy was on the U.S. team. I was, oh geez. So, but now I feel like I'm that guy. I feel like I belong, and it did take a lot of hard work, mentally, physically. I've always been a workhorse. I've never shied away from the work. Train 3 to 4 times a day, every day, and the big thing I've learned is to keep myself healthy. Mentally, physically. I gotta eat the right things. I gotta recover correctly. I gotta make sure that I'm not hurting myself in my workouts. So it was a big learning process, but I feel like I'm getting there, and with the right help behind me, it's all falling into place.
Talk to us about high-level looks. You're here at Sanchez Brothers Gym. Got a world title challenger here, Jason Sanchez. I know quite a bit smaller than you, but still that caliber of fighter. And then spending a lot of time at Jackson Wing. Heard you've sparred with John Jones, so you've seen some of the upper echelon that New Mexico has to offer. Yeah,
absolutely, and it's great. I love it. I love the atmosphere. That's always been a big thing for me. Training at gyms, surrounded by fighters, surrounded by people that have that same goal, that have those aspirations to become world champions, to become world-class fighters, and it's been great for me. And I've had a lot of high-level sparring in the last few years, even out in California as well. So I've kind of had to see the level I have to reach and the person I have to become to compete with and beat these world-class fighters.
There are days that you even say to yourself, I have a degree, but I choose to chase this dream. Do you ever talk to yourself about that?
Absolutely, but man, that's no way to live for me. I always, I like doing kind of crazy things. That's always been me. I never felt like I fit into the mold. I always like going, swimming upstream, so to speak. And it's great that I have the degree and that I went to college and I spent all those years studying and learning, and it was a great part of my life. And I made really good money, but in that same breath, I kind of saw that that's not what I wanted to do in life, at least at that time. When I'm done competing, I'll have no problem, no regrets going to work or starting a business or however it is, however it folds out. But I learned that that's not what I want to do just yet. So
how different is it when you wake up in the morning to go to this job?
It is very difficult, different. It is very different. To make money on the side, I have a few sponsors that help me, but primarily I'm a personal trainer, and it's a double-edged sword. You set your own schedule. It's all about how much work you want to put in. So, in one regard, I can tell myself I don't really need to go to work. I'm the boss. But at the same time, when you start falling off, your clients start falling off, then everything kind of falls apart around you. So it's kind of a balance I found in life between work and doing this, which is one of my passions, and I love it, to be honest.
And as far as your plan goes, we're looking at the Olympics, and then after that, this year, 2020, looking at after the 2020 Olympics, looking at definitely we'll be pro after that, right?
Absolutely. Like I said, I made some good contacts, got some good coaches. I've already been talking to people. I have a vision in my mind. I want to build myself locally here in New Mexico. I also consider Colorado my home state as well. Those are the two places I've been tied to most in my life, in America at least, is Colorado and New Mexico. I want to get some fights here, some fights in Colorado. From for all my friends, family, build a crowd base here, keep growing and start traveling, start building myself, fighting the better and better guys till I reach contender status and, you know, challenge for the world title, take it, get a few $1 million fights and retire young and rich.
That is the dream, but like you said, first you want to attack this Olympic dream. Can't get there without the trials, and I heard that next step for you, I believe, is next weekend, Ohio?
Correct. So the way that the Olympic process works in America, the Olympic trials happen in December, and they take 8 guys per weight class in America. They take the number 1 and 2 guys from previous years, and there's 3 qualifying tournaments where you have to place first or second. I didn't place in the first qualifying tournament, so this is the second one. There's going to be a lot of really good fighters there, so I'm really excited for it to come out there, show them what I'm made of, and, you know, put my mark on it, win a spot at the trials. Once I do that, the Olympic trials, it's an 8-man tournament between the 8 best guys in the United States in each weight class. You win that, you're on the Olympic team, but you also have to qualify internationally. And I believe in my weight class, something like 18 or 20 people in the whole world get to go. So it is a very big process. It is a very difficult road. So that's where I'm at. You know, I gotta qualify for the trials, win the trials, qualify international, win the Olympics. That's my dream. That's my goal.
And then real quick, not to give too much away, what kind of fighter is Leo? What's the style you show off there in the ring?
I like to play the game of chess, but I like to play violently. I like to pick my shots. I like to pick big shots. A couple guys that I look at for inspiration, or maybe perhaps somehow I could see myself in them. Lennox Lewis, I love the way he boxes. Very powerful, very smart. The older Klitschko brother, Vitaly, he's an awkward fighter, but he's a very effective fighter. I like his heart. Younger Klitschko as well, a very strong 1-2 puncher. So I've been watching a lot of tape on a lot of guys for a long time, and I believe in, you know, building your own style and finding what works for you, and not necessarily imitating any one person in any particular zone. But I feel like I've got some good tools that I picked up during my years.
Leo, it was great getting to talk to you, sir. Thank you for the time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.